Welcome back to Rebel Watch. What a week it has been since the last time we've had a show. 2 weeks, actually. We had a little bit of a break. The Ole Miss Rebels are 11-1 officially. It has been a historic season. We are going to get into it and so much more today. But first, I'm your host, Erika Dierke.
I'm Max Certuse.
I'm Mariah Evans.
And I'm Henry Stuart.
So the Egg Bowl was, some would say as expected. Some would say a pleasant surprise. Depends on who you're asking. But no matter what, I mean, it was certainly the outcome that I know we were all hoping for. What did you guys think of it? What do you think that says about the team, and what might that say going forward?
Called it. I said the final score of this game would be 31-10, and that was pretty close. I said Ole Miss was a better team. I said they were going to dominate this game. The exact phrasing I used was Ole Miss is going to mollywop Mississippi State. I think Ole Miss is going to mollywop Mississippi State in this game, and that is exactly what happened in Starkville on Saturday. Crowd noise aside, Ole Miss took over that stadium, had no impact on us. Game was over by the half.
I will say I was there, brag, and I had earplugs in, and it was still like pretty loud. Like the crowd noise was like, but I agree with you. At the beginning, the cowbells and the crowd noise was loud because we definitely silenced them. You were right. I mean, it certainly didn't have an effect, and I also think, and we'll get into it later on into the show, but there was also a lot to play for, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of distractions going into this game when you hear about the rumors that were going on for a couple weeks now, but I don't think the team played too distracted. I do think the defense struggled a little bit containing Camario Taylor. Is that right?
Yeah.
They're proving they do struggle against mobile quarterbacks a little bit.
Yeah, Henry, you were right. Ole Miss did absolutely win. But my whole decision that I was banking off of, pre-notion when we were predicting this game was that I wasn't sure that Lane Kiffin was staying through this game. And honestly, I'll still stand by the fact, for my own pride's sake, that if Lane Kiffin had left before this week, that I think it would have been a closer, if not a Mississippi State game. And that's just me, just being a little egotistical. But yeah, it was a great game for the Rebels. I mean, it's a historical rivalry. What else do you want? And I think on paper is where this game was proven the best because, we had better talent. And that's true. And it's absolutely true. We had absolutely great games from our usual two guys. We say it every week. Trinidad and Kewan just absolutely put in a performance. And this game was great. Great job by the secondary. I think this was, again, I kind of said this about the Citadel game and all the lesser games in the schedule, but this game turned out to be a more fundamental win for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. Speaking of Trinidad Chandler, of course, he had a phenomenal game, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns. But I want to talk about the guys that he got the ball to, because Trinidad Chandler, and I said it on the show before break, that I like this Ole Miss offense, and I think it's a better offense than last year's because of how balanced this is. And Trinidad Chandler's ball distribution has been just terrific. DeZon Stribling had 2 touchdowns. Deuce Alexander had to center the nail in the coffin, that long bomb, 80-something yard touchdown. Trey Wallace had a touchdown. Caden Lee had over 70 yards. Like, everyone in the receiving game really showed up, but the talent on the field and the way the ball is moved is phenomenal. And that was on full display on Saturday.
So obviously there are a lot of other things that are going on, but again, just looking at this game, is there anything we see that we think is going to be important going forward based off of this Egg Bowl win and maybe others that we had in the past?
Defense struggle against mobile quarterbacks. I think that's been proven since the Arkansas game, and I think that's what I'm looking at going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
So other than defense, no.
It's kind of up in the air.
Other than defense, no. Especially not right now.
Yeah. And we certainly are going to get into the locker room stuff and all of that later on into the show. Before we maybe talk about that, because there's only so much we can talk about with this Mississippi State game because it's, like you said, not going to be very representative going forward. I do want to, we had a little bit of social media fame over the break because with Henry and Mariah and all of us getting into it about the Egg Bowl, I mean, that rivalry on the field and off the field is a big deal. Yeah. So I actually want to take a look at a couple of comments. We have some constructive ones to begin with. You guys can maybe respond to it a little bit.
They're hate comments.
Yeah, they are. They are.
The girl is right, says Tyler. The girl is right. Records don't matter in the Egg Bowl. No matter what's happened, the other 11 games, the game is always a toss-up.
Thank you. I knew I was right when it came out of my mouth. Thank you.
Well, you said it. One didn't happen, though. It's one thing to say it, but I'm sorry, but you were wrong. This was not a...
We got a lot of comments. We can't pick through all. No,
we got
That's perfect, actually. Okay, Red Cup Hail State wants to know who hurt you, Henry.
Y'all did, and that terrible football team you trot out there every Saturday. The way that you blow games and the way that you are just straight up not a good football team. That's what's got me hot and bothered. And the fact my co-hosts, who were Ole Miss students, had some notion in their head that y'all were going to win this game, and you had no chance. reason you won, the reason the game was this close is because Mario Taylor started. If y'all had started Blake Shapen, we would have won by 40.
Hot and bothered.
I know. Sorry, Mississippi
We're
State.
tagging you, Hail State. Speaking of that, Kale Pinion said Ole Miss is going to win, but if we pull off the upset, y'all will end up blocking me, and then tagged us.
So you ain't getting.
We don't. Isaiah says, this is a hard watch. I'm starting to hate Ole Miss. You guys are bird brains.
Totally agree.
I know.
Bird brains.
My brother would agree.
Space Monkey 666 says, whoever watches this stupid talk show with these dimwits who got nothing better to do with life needs to get a job ASAP.
Again, totally agree. Yeah,
I know. My mom says the same thing every week. Like, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, if you're not our parents, I don't know why I want.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this username, but I'm a little bit worried because they say, don't worry, I will send the plague to Ole Miss.
Oh, all right.
So watch out. And then shout out Mariah. Connor Perkins wants to say, the girl knows ball. The guy is just angry.
Thank you, bro.
Maybe angry, but I was right, and that's why I was.
Learn from the best.
But he was right. All right. Any other thoughts? I mean, we spoke to the public. Any other thoughts amongst us about the Egg Bowl?
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on defense a little bit. Mariah, you're 100% right. You know, we do struggle against mobile quarterbacks, but here's the thing that stood out to me. Despite Mississippi State putting up 440 yards of total offense, Mario Taylor tearing it up on the ground, he absolutely
Good for him.
torched Ole Miss. Absolutely. Flowers to him. They've got a special quarterback in Starkville. I just ripped y'all apart, but he's a legitimately good quarterback. But we kept Mississippi State to only 19 points despite allowing all those yards. It was a very bend, don't break performance from this defense. And I'm under the mentality that you can put up all the yards that you want, but if you can't score, then those are just numbers on a sheet. They don't contribute to the actual win. And that's exactly what happened on Saturday. So shout out to the defense. They got pushed around, but with their backs against the wall, they bucked back and kept Mississippi State from getting into the end zone.
Yeah. And kind of like you said, I'm glad that we can have that takeaway. But because of what we're going to talk about after the break, there is a lot up in the air when it comes to this football team in so many regards. So we are going to be talking about Lane Kiffin, our new head coach, not interim, head coach, Pete Golding, and so many other things right after the break.
It's that time of the year again, fellas. When the mornings are hot, the afternoons are hotter, and football is on its way back. Now, games is won by the battles fought in Auburn. Everyone that's not revered as the Ole Miss legend has been in your shoes before, trying to survive at Mississippi heat, competing for a spot, and doing the sacrifice that it takes to make it in this league. You go into this money collection of men from 100 different places, and if you work, you emerge from it as one team with one goal and one heartbeat. The SEC awaits you. And if they don't know who you are now, they will soon.
The dynamic freshman is starting to make his impact. Dagger with the shot clock down to 1.
That 3-ball drops for Jamin Brakefield. Fagan from the corner with a triple. Burrell for 3, and that's a big response.
3-ball, yes. This shooting lights out at the pavilion. And give him one more. Look, well, you can't teach that. Well, that should give Ole Miss a boost.
Ole Miss 18th NCAA tournament appearance.
This is fun, folks, as Baker's peeling it. Little heat check. Instead of Collins for three. Bring it up.
Said, I love Madison Sky.
Ole Miss Rebels are having a lot of fun, and you can see why.
All right, welcome back. So beyond the Egg Bowl, almost immediately after the Egg Bowl, it kind of felt like there was a media flurry going on with Lane Kiffin and where he was going, when he was going, who was going to replace him. So obviously the Lane Kiffin thing has kind of subsided, but we can still get into that. And I mean, that's not my coach anymore. Pete Golding, Pete Fleet, right? Yeah. So specifically Lane Kiffin, I think I want to ask Max, what are you thinking about his departure from Ole Miss?
Okay, so here's the thing about Lane Kiffin's departure, and everybody, you know, there's as much drama as you want when you look into this thing. Here's the thing. Lane Kiffin took a job for more money, and you say Ole Miss is going to match it. Okay, sure. Lane Kiffin took the job at LSU strictly because of the brand of LSU. He took it because, oh, guys, it's LSU. Okay, LSU wasn't LSU when we beat them this year. The problem with Lane Kiffin is that he has no idea what he's building, what he could build. Ole Miss could have been the LSU in his mind, right? But there's so much problem with his character and how he left that I think should be discussed.
Yeah.
And you saw the same thing, and I don't know if you guys know about this, but you know, when the Raiders fired Lane Kiffin, the owner had laid out an entire hour-long press conference illustrating every single thing that he had done wrong then and all the lies he had told, and he put it up on a projector. You know, there have been issues where he's coached everywhere. This is the Lane Kiffin that you hire. He is a self-obsessed coach. Honestly, I don't have a problem with him going to LSU. I really don't. It's just how he did it that is obvious that it's not a good look, in my opinion. And you can say what you want. I don't have any emotional attachment to the fact that he's leaving. But, like, it's how he did it that, like, is so strictly wrong. And to sit there and, you know, get up on the press conference at LSU and say, I don't even know how much money I'm making. That's not true. And it's just like, I think, yeah, I know, I'm getting a little stressed out there. But it's like,
Get fired up.
well, right. So my thing is, there's nothing wrong with what he did. It's just how he did it. And it's like, you know, if you want to look into any wrong part about him going to LSU, don't be mad that he went to LSU. Be mad that he, you know, kind of just absolutely left everybody in the dark, you know?
Yeah.
And so much more.
Yeah.
My problem is the fact that he dragged this ordeal out for so long. When it was announced that he would be making the announcement after the Egg Bowl, I immediately knew that he was gone, because if he was staying, he would try to put to bed any kind of rumors and get his team focused for the Egg Bowl and the college football playoff. And he didn't do that. And, you know, he goes on Pat McAfee, doesn't address it. There's a picture of him in a hoodie with his hood off on the phone behind the parking deck next to the Manning Center. You know, it's sketchy. It's really sketchy. And, you know, you say a leopard can't change its spots, and don't be surprised when a snake bites you. I'll admit it. I got bit. I said that there was no reason for Lane Kiffin to leave. I said he wasn't going to leave. And I was very confident about that. I was completely wrong. Because here's the thing. There is no logical reason that Lane Kiffin left Ole Miss. But you know what? Ego is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think I'm looking at it from a PR perspective or something like that. I think he could have controlled the narrative from the early get-go when they was talking about him going to Florida. He could have just said, okay, I got these offers from LSU and Florida, you know what, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. I'm going to focus on my team getting to the playoffs and things like that. And then I'm going to address those offers later. Like the coach of BYU is doing right now. He had the offer from Penn State, but he's focused on BYU getting to the Big 12 championship. I think he could have controlled the narrative and didn't have to leave these players in the dark, and most important. Because, I mean, they've been drugged through the mud in the media with this stuff.
Yeah, with how recruiting works and all these things that I don't understand to the fullest extent, he probably had to leave at this point. It's finally he's going to LSU. It's finally he's making more money. He probably had to leave. I agree with you about how he handled it before, but how he's been handling it after has been really shocking to me as well. Because first of all, I mean, as an Ole Miss fan, I don't like how he's taking it. But if I were a player for the Ole Miss football team, I would really not be feeling great right now about how he was tackling this. And then also, if I'm Keith Carter, if I'm like Ole Miss, the entity, he is kind of burning the ground behind him. And it almost felt for a while like he was trying to sabotage our hosting a playoff berth. And it didn't work, but it kind of felt like if he couldn't coach, then maybe Ole Miss shouldn't be in the playoffs. Maybe I'll take Charlie West Jr., I'll take players, I'll do whatever, like I'm going to poach these guys. And it didn't fully work out that way. I don't even know if that's necessarily what was happening, but just the way he's acting is so unclear and so negative that it really felt for a while like he was poaching and trying to ruin our chances of the playoffs if he couldn't coach. It's all been very weird.
Yeah. I mean, you bet your bottom dollar that is what he was doing. He was trying to sabotage Ole Miss. He's still actively trying to sabotage Ole Miss. I can tell you that. I can tell you that there shouldn't be a doubt in your mind that he's calling coaches and players still, and he's trying to see who will follow him. I think he's looking for some yes men to follow him to LSU. You know, not because for the sole reason that it's LSU. That's his only selling point. Because, you know, if the coaches that are going to stay really care about this team are staying, they care about their development as a coach and who they are and what this team is. But if they're going with Lane Kiffin from here, I can guarantee you right now, it's just yes men. And honestly, like I can say this over and over again because, you know, people are like, oh, guys, he has a family. I don't hate Lane Kiffin. I don't really care. I'm just saying what he's doing in any, you know, professional position is just morally wrong. That is what it is. I don't have an emotional attachment to any of it, but it's like what he's doing to this team is wrong. What he did to the team is wrong, and what he's actively trying to do, despite what he says in the media, is just wrong.
Yeah, it's going to affect his legacy, too, as, like, he was so beloved here, and now
really was.
And that's probably all.
Could have had a Lane Kiffin field if he would have just sticked around or a statue.
Yeah, or even handled this a little bit better. You could add a statue.
But I think he treated us like a playbook. Ole Miss like a playbook. It was great while it worked, and then toss it out for a new one. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the situation. Now everybody knows how Tennessee fans feel, and I hate that for everybody around here, but I don't know. It's just messy, and I don't like this kind of situation. Hopefully it's rules next year for this kind of thing.
The thing that bothers me the most, I mean, there's a lot of things that bother me about this situation, but it's the fact that all of the attention has been on Lane Kiffin and not this football team that is arguably the best in Ole Miss history. Yeah. 11 wins for only the second time in program history for the first time ever during the regular season. Keywan Lacey breaking 2 single-season records for touchdowns, for rushing touchdowns and all-purpose yards. This is an incredible football team. And all of the focus has been on Lane Kiffin. And the thing that gets me is that that's exactly what Lane Kiffin wants. He wants the attention to be on him because he's a narcissist and he's an egomaniac. Strong words, but it's true. And it burns me up because of just how much this team has accomplished, how much we still have left to accomplish. And all anybody seems to care about or want to talk about is Lane Kiffin. He's not our head coach anymore. I'm all in on Pete Golding. Let's spot the ball. Let's get moving on this.
Because he's not our coach anymore, we're done talking about him. After the break, we're going to talk about the future of Ole Miss football for the rest of this season. We're going to get into the other coaches. We're going to get into the new staff. We're going to get into all of it. And we also have a little bit of a surprise. So we'll see you right after the break.
My passion is journalism. Here at the University of Mississippi, we produce a nightly half-hour newscast, broadcasting regionally on cable and globally on the World Wide Web. It's the kind of experience that is preparing me to walk into any news station in the country with the skills and abilities I need to succeed. So it's not just preparing me for the real world, it is the real world.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hand? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We are rebels. For more than 160 years, we've been accomplishing the impossible, from conducting the world's first lung transplant to helping prove Einstein was right. From preserving the past to saving the future. We are Mississippi's flagship university, a place where passion and learning unite, where friends become family, where small-town charm meets world-class innovation. We are the University of Mississippi. We are Ole Miss.
welcome back. We are actually with a magician. Total tone shift from the rest of the episode. We are here with the magic man of Oxford himself, Christian, today, and he's going to show us a quick magic trick. I'm super excited.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. And today we're going to do a very special trick that I came up with. It is called Time Glitch. So each one of y'all are going to pick a card. So go ahead. Just say stop.
Stop.
Right there. Are you sure you want to keep going or stay there?
That's my card.
That's your card? All right. Go ahead. Take it. Look at it. Okay? Now go ahead. Say stop.
Stop.
Right there. Are you sure you can keep going? Or you can go back. It's up to you. Free choice.
I'm going to keep going.
You going to keep going?
Stop.
Right there. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Go ahead. Take a look. Okay. Last one, best one. Say stop.
Stop.
Right there. I give you the option like I did them. Do you want this card? Keep going or go back?
Go back.
How many?
7.
7? All right. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7. Okay. Is that good?
Yeah.
That's good?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay. Can you go ahead, pass that on down? Awesome. So,
Right.
y'all all picked 3 different cards. Do you mind just turning them over on the table? Awesome. I got a 5, and a 7. Okay, a 5 and a 5 and a 7. Now, you know what the importance of these cards are? See, this whole deck is just mixed up with different cards, but you picked these.
Yeah.
You could have picked any cards. You could have stopped anywhere. You could have gone back. You just stopped at the card. You kept going. You went back 7, and you got a 7. How about that? There you go. Now, before I go any further, do you know what time it is? Do you mind checking your phones?
Oh my God.
It's 5:57.
It's 5:57.
Oh my God.
It's 5:57.
Go ahead, pick up the cards. It is 5:57.
It's 5:57.
What?
It's 5:57.
Yo.
That was so cool.
I might throw up. That was insane.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
All right, so based on the most previous rankings, although it's not Selection Sunday official, I think Ole Miss, with all the drama that's going on, being put and slotted into that 6th ranking, all but confirms it, right? We're going to host a playoff game. So that's huge, but there's a lot going on. So we're going to look into how we think that that's going to affect it. If we've got, like, because we said the Egg Bowl might not really be that representative of our team. So what is at this point? Like, what can we even grasp onto and look at?
I don't know. I mean,
Shoot.
I'm looking at it. Can the players stay focused through all this? I mean, honestly and truly, you got new coaches, new assistants, and things like that. And you just don't know. You got people, you got the coach leaving and things like that. You just don't know if you can stay focused, honestly, mentally, through all of this.
Yeah.
I think this could ignite them, though. It seems like they're all backing behind Pete Golding, and they're all
they're on the Pete fleet.
And they're on the Pete fleet. Yeah, I would love to talk about Pete Golding. It looked like they knew he was going to be the coach far before anything was official with how quick it happened.
I think they enjoy him.
I think about the hire, I think great move by the athletics department. Because you know what you do when you hire a defensive guy, you keep your defensive recruits. I think that's one of the smartest moves the athletic department made. And something that gets completely overlooked is the fact that you're going to keep a lot of your defensive recruits if you do that. And yeah, it seems like this is a guy that everyone's rallying behind, and I think that's good. He's a football guy, and you know, we were talking about Pete off camera, and it's just like, how do you feel about it, Henry? Because we shared pretty similar views of it.
Yeah, no, I am absolutely elated with the move. Pete Golding, I've spoken very highly of him on this show, in my personal life. Like, I am a huge Pete Golding fan, so allow me to glaze a little bit. You know, he's a local guy. He's about from 4.5 hours south of here on Interstate 55, Hammond, Louisiana. He played at Delta State over in Clinton on the Delta. He's ranked 3rd all time in total tackles for the Statesman. He played safety. So he is kind of from the area. I feel like he is the perfect embodiment of Ole Miss football. He's from the area. He understands the culture, the geography, the recruiting to pipelines, everything. He's a terrific defensive mind. Ole Miss has never been known for their defenses. And we had multiple players get drafted, a school record number of players get drafted, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. I'm from Charlotte. Princely Uman Mielen, who only played here for 1 year, got drafted in the 3rd round after being coached by Pete Golding for 1 season and has been a complete difference maker on the defensive line for the Panthers. So he is an absolute stud. I love Pete Golding. I'm all in on the Pete fleet. I think there's a lot of energy that has been brought to the locker room and certainly to campus, to Oxford even. And I cannot wait for things to get started in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something that went so overlooked, I think, and I think you're going to see this in the weeks to come with, you know, Lane's absence, is that how talented and understated this supporting staff has been. You're not going to see much of a different change, and that's what I think is going to be awesome. You know, two people that Charlie Weiss and Joe Judge are also on the staff, and I want to talk about the fact that we talk about Trinidad every week. You know, shout out Coach Judge for the fact that he's been developing this quarterback absolutely perfectly. You know, I'm from Massachusetts. I had the pleasure, you know, watching his reign in New England, and then he was the head coach of the Giants. He's going to be somebody that has, you know, he knows exactly how to develop not just this offense, these quarterbacks, but this team. Charlie Weiss as well. I think that they have the exact pieces that they need that are falling into place to get this team to develop and to continue what reign they've already had.
We still have Joe Judge. Charlie Weiss Jr. is at least coaching the playoffs. So all of that is really positive. Like the connection with Joe Judge and Chambliss, at least from a fan perspective, looks to be like they mesh well together. Like it looks like Chambliss likes him. So that's going to be really good. And yeah, kind of also like what we were saying, like having the defensive guy be our head coach. We have all the defensive staff. I just think, I agree. I think the coaching being kept together is going to be very positive.
I mean, from a fan perspective, yeah. I mean, you know, the four of us don't know, you know, the most of what's going on inside the locker room, but like what we can see that's apparent is there are people in this building who are experienced, some of which more experienced than Lane, you could say. You know, you could make that kind of an argument about college football in its own realm, but like, no, we have a completely talented coaching staff that is going to pick this up. And yeah, like we don't know the relationships between everybody, but now you can see this stuff coming to fruition. It's like you have people that are rallying behind these coaches, these new coaches. And it's like, that kind of makes you think, you know, was there really a connection to begin with that was anything real with Lane Kiffin? So again, I think that we're going to see how effective and how talented and how professional this football team is without the distraction of somebody that's more of a celebrity than a coach in their own mind.
Yeah, it seems like he's a leader of men. For when we interview defensive players, a lot of them talked about Pete Golding this, Pete Golding this. And I want to see that connection go over to the offensive side too.
Yeah, no, Mariah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, me and you, we've been doing a lot of the interviews. Even Max, like you can attest to this. We've been in the Manning Center. We've been interviewing primarily defensive guys, and they all talk about Pete Golding. Yeah. I mean, they might mention Lane Kiffin, but it's primarily their position coaches, and Pete Golding is a defensive coordinator. He's a likable guy. He's very genuine. And, you know, he cancels media availability on Friday, you know, because he wants the focus to be on the team. He comes out at half court at the Ole Miss basketball game on Tuesday night in the ACC SEC Challenge, and it's like, this is about the team. This is not about me. It's about these guys and the work that they've accomplished. And that, you know, the last block I was talking, like, that's the biggest gripe I had with this whole Kiffin situation, is that the focus was taken away from these players. And Pete Golding is very much a players first kind of coach and would do anything for his team. Joe Judge would do anything for his team. The people that want to stay in Oxford are here, and those are the people that I want running this football team. That's who's in charge. I cannot wait for the future of Ole Miss football. I really can't.
Yeah, and I like how the questions that you guys were asking the defensive players was like, what coaches are having such an impact on you? And you're right, I'm thinking back and I'm not really remembering Lane being an answer. And you know what? Maybe we didn't interview the bigger players, right? But that could have to do with the whole celebrity aspect of his thing. Like maybe Lane Kiffin was more drawn to the more popular players. Like it's the pieces of this football team all seem to have a connection with Pete Golding, and I think that could be a really positive. And I mean, what are you gonna, I don't actually know, but they speak so very highly of him, and I think that that could be a really good reflection of how this will work out.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway should be that every single person that makes up this coaching staff right now, they were successful coaches before coming to Ole Miss. They're going to be successful going into these playoffs, and you will see that not a single one of these coaches is going to need him after the fact. Like, these people are completely competent, and I have complete faith in who's at the helm of this team.
And not only are we just going to have to find out, but we're not going to be back till January 30th with RebelWatch. So we will see all of you guys then. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Kwanzaa. And a happy Kwanzaa, and a happy Hanukkah, and a happy holidays.
Diwali.
And that too. And an incredible time watching Ole Miss in the playoffs. Hopefully here, definitely at home if you can't make it. Nothing but the best of luck to all the guys. I have been your host, Erika Dierke.
I'm Max Certuse.
I'm Mariah Evans.
And I'm Henry Stuart.
Ole Miss by a billion. Go Revs, hotty toddy, Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Ready? Yes. I got 2 8s, 2 kings. Would you like an 8 or a king?
8.
You want an 8? Alrighty. Do you mind just holding out your hand for me? Awesome. You said 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. Oh, was that a king?
Yeah.
Hold on. No. Go ahead, look.
What? What? Wait.
Did you feel 2 cards in your hand? No.
1 king, 1 8. By giving you that king, I tap it, and now you got 2 8s.
All right, wait.
This is true.
I got
So true.
This isn't insane.